Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PopCultX, your pop culture show from our Gen X perspective. My name is Danny, and along with Gabriel, we're your hosts here, offering all of our feedback and thoughts and views on everything from Project Runway to the Emmys to the VMAs and maybe some other things tied in between. But first off, Gabe, how are you? How was your week?
Doing good. Enjoyed watching the Emmys. Enjoyed watching Project Runway, like you mentioned. A lot of good television this past week, so I enjoyed it. How about yourself?
Same. I enjoyed watching part of the VMAs.
Yeah.
I know we're a little bit behind because we're recording later than usual, so we got a lot to catch up on. I did enjoy watching that. Project Runway was fun. I got a little late start on that, which is why we're a few days behind. Actually, I think the next episode comes out tomorrow. So that
Yeah.
kind of gives you an idea out there of how far behind we are. Um, but we are
Awesome.
on episode 8 of Project Runway, so let us go ahead and get right into the unofficial Project Runway recap show. Gabe, what do you remember most about episode 8?
So episode 8 starts with people getting kicked off from episode
Yes,
7, right? So if everyone recalls, it was between Yu Chen and BJ,
correct.
and Yu Chen had that spikes or horns on the boobs. Um, and they decided that that just didn't cut it for Cowboy Chic.
Right.
So he was axed and asked to leave. He was given the old Avita Zane, and VJ was allowed to continue it with her
Her,
content.
yes. I just want to say something real quick, just because I was watching the VMAs and I saw someone walk on the red carpet, or they showed an image of a lady in a red dress and she had the horns out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like,
Oh,
hey,
I
what's
wonder
going
who
on?
that was.
I don't remember who it was. I'll have to look it up, but I just thought it was funny because of Yu Chen's dress, and now
Yeah.
seeing something similar on the red carpet. Like maybe he wasn't that far off after all.
Yeah, but it was the VMAs, not the country western awards.
There you go. It wasn't the CMAs, right?
So yeah, so they got or he got kicked off. BJ was allowed to continue with the contest, the competition, and then they got right into their next competition, which was sort of like a going out look, I
It was
believe.
like the comfortable in your own skin type of look, right? Because love the skin you're in, I think it was what they
Yeah,
titled it. And it was all the contestants were real world people, so they weren't
yeah,
models.
yeah.
And each of them had battles or is battling eczema. So that was the whole thing, and having the designers create looks for going out, like you said, but that will not flare up their skin conditions or
Right.
make them feel comfortable with what they're wearing. And I thought it was a really cool challenge. I like the fact that they use real people instead of models. I always find that fun because that's how it's going to be out there in the real world. Not
Yeah.
everyone's going to be like the cookie cutter sizes and whatnot. Um,
I'm kind of the opposite. Like I kind of hate when they do regular people just because I want to live in the fantasy world of fashion where everyone is like 5'11" and a size 0 and has long legs and looks glamorous and gorgeous. That's the escapism for me. Where everyone just looks, amazing. Um, the real world is, I live in the real world, so I don't need more of the real world. I need fantasy. I need escapism. I
Fair
need
enough. That's
a
true. I
ticket
get
out
that.
of the current state of affairs. So yeah, I mean, it's admirable that they were using regular everyday people who have eczema or experience eczema and we're helping them out in this case. So it was interesting to see what they came up with.
Yeah, and they each of them had their looks, and so I think they some of the designers struggled with
Yeah,
incorporating their own aesthetic with what the client wanted.
yeah.
So they were being like, do we do more of what we would want or more to please the client?
Which is a recurring theme in Project Runway. If you've watched
Hmm.
other episodes, that
Hmm.
sort of happens whenever they have clients, right?
Yeah,
When they
right,
have
right, right.
people that they're designing for, they always kind of run into that issue of like, well, this is what I would do, this is what you want. Am I going to ignore what you want and just do what I want to do? Case in point was Jesus. I think he had one of the biggest challenges with
Mm,
his
mm-hmm,
real world model.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Not wanting to have like feminine accents on the outfit that he was creating,
right.
saying that he was kind of uncomfortable with that sort of expression. And Jesus kind of rolled his eyes and was like, whatever, I'm still going to do what I want to do, which was, I thought was a mistake. I mean, yeah, as a designer, I would assume that you have a variety of looks that you can come up with, and each matching particular clients' needs.
Right.
He's a working designer, so I'm sure he has clients that come into his business and say, I don't want X, Y, and Z, and he delivers that. Otherwise, he'll lose that client. So I don't really understand why he had such a hard time listening to his client in this particular instance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he really struggled with that.
Yeah, and I think I heard one of the judges or someone said that he designed the outfit that he would want to wear
Yeah,
as opposed to what the client would want.
right.
Right. And speaking of designing, well, part of the other part of the challenge, not only for the real world people and eczema feeling comfortable, was they had to have some sort of reveal.
Yeah.
Like, which is interesting, reveals on the runway. I guess they're supposed to be like wow moments and whatnot. And I think Antonio did a great job with that.
Yeah.
He had two different reveals, and his look was just, I think, by far the best, which was, you know, I'm not a big fan of his, but I was good to watch him win. So congratulations, Antonio. And yeah, his look was the best this week by far.
I agree. I think that you could just almost judge it based off of his client's reaction. I mean, she looked amazing in
Yeah.
it. You could tell that she felt great in it. She looked great in it. It met all of the requirements for this particular competition.
Hmm.
It had the reveal. It made her feel good. I think he deservedly was the top winner this
Yeah.
week.
And also on the top was VJ, which we'll get back to in just a moment.
Yeah.
But Ethan, client, also loved her outfit, and it had a great reveal as well to that Rose Shark ink blot print, I guess, that he made. And there was a lot of what's the right word? They were he did not like the fact that he was on the bottom three.
Was he in the bottom three or the
So
top three?
they had the top two, which was Antonio and VJ, and
Oh,
then they
right.
had the bottom three. Of course, he was
Oh,
safe,
okay.
but he was very upset that VJ, because she did not really have a reveal, so
Right.
she didn't meet all the requirements of the challenge. He was very upset that she placed above him, which,
Yeah.
and I think that's deservedly so.
I don't really even okay, so yes, I agree that VJ should not have been in the top two,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily disagree that Ethan should not be in the bottom three.
Yeah, I mean, when it gets to five, it's kind of hard, right? Because
Yeah.
like someone has to be
Is
in the
I'm
bottom
not a
three.
fan of either of their looks.
Hmm.
VJ's was extremely boring.
Yeah,
If if I had to wear that outfit, I would not feel special at all with it.
yeah,
It's
I
just an
agree.
everyday guy look. Like it was just like if you look up guy's outfit, like everyday outfit, like that's what it was. It was a sweater, a leather jacket, and some pants. Like
Yeah.
it was super boring. It was nothing was cool about it in my eyes. But then Ethan's, I wasn't a fan of, first of all, he's again having issues with the boobs. Like he does not know how to work with boobs for I don't know, maybe obvious reasons. And there was an area of the dress that I thought was really awkward that no one brought up, but like there was a portion of it that was red that to me read like blood and
Oh,
it
I didn't
looked
see that.
really awkward. It was in
I
the crotch.
Okay, I noticed that the lower half of the skirt was like super dark, which I
Yeah,
thought
it
was
was
weird.
red.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
red?
it was red and
Oh,
it
interesting.
looked
Okay.
like blood and it was in the crotch area. So it just looked really weird to me.
Yeah, I
I don't know
noticed.
why anyone didn't bring it up, but for me it made it look a little like not cool.
Yeah.
It just did not look good.
It was, yeah, it was very interesting that look. I mean, But who said that the model saved him for because she worked it, right?
It did, but she could have looked so much better if it was not
Properly
as
fitted.
fitting.
Yeah.
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 It did not fit her properly. And he could have designed it a little bit better to make her. I mean, imagine how she would have felt if it would have fit her like a glove
Hmm.
and was designed for her body type.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that I think he needs to kind of get off his high horse and about him being in the top because it wasn't that great of a look.
Yeah. No, I
And
get that.
I
Yeah.
love him. Like I'm a fan of his work. I just don't necessarily think that this was it.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. The other designer joining Jesus and Ethan in the bottom was Melania.
Yeah.
Now she kind of missed the mark with her asymmetrical dress short combination. That coat
Yeah.
was very cool. I really like the coat,
Yeah.
but
And again, she had issues with her client. I felt bad for Bologna though because her client was like, I don't like color, I don't like patterns.
I don't like
Like,
prints. I like
what are you
nudes.
like? You like nude, so you want to look naked. Like, what? Like, that's where I think you have a serious sit down with your client and say, okay, maybe this week you can try something that's outside of your box
Yeah.
and let's see how that feels. Like maybe introduce some patterns, maybe introduce a little bit of color, maybe not go all the way like crazy like silver lame, like the
Hmm.
asymmetrical dress that she did, but like introduce some of those things to her so that she can kind of get her feet wet in a different
Yeah,
area.
that's true.
But I did feel bad for her because I was just like, that girl does not like anything.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when she was going off when they were having their consultation and she was listing what she doesn't like. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, what do you design for someone who doesn't like anything?
Yeah. It was weird. It was I felt bad for her, but they're in the bottom two. Um, VJ and Antonio are safe. Antonio being the winner. They sort of attacked VJ backstage by saying
Mhm.
like he didn't deserve it. Where was the reveal?
Right,
I kind of agree with him. Taking off a jacket is not a reveal.
right.
Um, so, but we had sort of a pretty dramatic ending this week.
We did.
Yeah, so they announced that both of them were going home. Both
Correct. Bum, bum,
Juan
bum.
and Jesus. It's to be continued, so there may be a little switcheroo in the plot, but I think that that's a horrible decision because Jesus has been doing a really good job, and for one mistake to leave the competition. I mean, it is towards the end. It's getting kind of cutthroat. I just don't think that they need to cut two. I think Bologna should be the one to go home and they keep Jesus.
Well, I mean, I agree. It is pretty cutthroat that they decided, at least for now, to eliminate both bottom designers, especially when it gets this far in the competition. That's kind of like a curveball. They normally do something like that when it's more designers left, right?
Yeah.
After they usually do that when like no designer goes home the week before, then they cut two to make up for it. But this seemed kind of weird, and like you said, it was to be continued. So I'm expecting some sort of further plot twist where like, okay, but first before you guys both go home, you're gonna have to rework your looks to
Yeah.
see, you know, like a showdown or something like that,
That would
face
be
off.
great because
Yeah.
I really don't want to see Jesus go because he was my number one as far as winning the competition.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's a plot twist for sure. Uh, it was definitely a surprise. I
Yeah, it was.
kind of my mouth was like kind of on the floor for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's different.
Yeah,
Okay. I guess we'll see how. But then they put the to be continued, and I was like, oh, this isn't over yet.
yeah.
So
So that. I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of cool. We'll see what happens next week. Other drama that happened this week is the Emmys.
yes,
That honor dramatic moments in television. And so it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I don't recall the host of the show. I don't know. Maybe you
it was
have.
Nate. a comedian Nate Bargazat or something like that.
I've never heard of him before,
Neither have
and
I.
he didn't really win me over, to be honest. Like I didn't think he was all that hilarious. Uh, he was okay. Like, I mean, hosts are kind of just like introduce the next people and try to be funny in between
Yeah.
the nominees and the awards. So it's kind of a hard gig. I wasn't really won over by him, but there were a lot of people that were I am big fans of that won.
Okay.
My number one thing that I was super excited for was the lead actress in a limited or anthology series, Kristen Milioti for the Penguin one, and I'm a
Mm,
huge fan of her. She was amazing in the Penguin. She deserved to win hands down.
awesome. Yeah, I like when people who deserve to win actually win.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Not that like the other people in her in her category were not great, but I was just such a fan of the Penguin. She did such a good job. Her counterpart in it lost. Colin Farrell did not win,
Okay.
but that whatever. Best drama series was The Pit, which I'm a big fan of. I've talked about it on the show or on our podcast like numerous times, trying to get people to watch it. The Pit is a top tier show, super good. Also, Noah Wiley won for The Pit, lead actor in a drama series, and I believe best supporting actress also was uh, for The Pit. I
Yeah,
forget her.
Catherine Lanasa, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which it's funny because all your favorite for the drama series won. Same for me for the comedy series. I'm a huge fan of the studio, Seth Rogen's creation on Apple TV Plus, and
yeah,
it's so funny, it's so well done, and I was so happy that it won several awards for best comedy. Seth Rogen won best actor in a comedy series. I know they wrote one for best writing, I think.
yeah. Writing for a comedy series.
So I was so happy that the studio won. And so in the show, the studio, they have an award ceremony, I think in one of the last episodes. And Ike Barinholtz character is gets thanked by oh, what's his name? Not Paul Rudd. Is it Paul Rudd? Might have been Paul Rudd. Anyways, he gets thanked. His name is Sal Saperstein, right?
Yeah.
So and then it goes on and subsequently in the award ceremony on that show, everyone else starts thanking him. So I think Seth Rogen missed a great moment right there to thank Sal Saperstein on the Emmys. It would
Yeah.
have been just hilarious, but I'm so happy it won so much.
Other big winner was the cast of Hacks. Gene
Yes.
Smart and Hannah Einbinder won for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Huge fan of that show. Huge fan of both of those actresses. Hannah was sort of a highlight when she won. She um, kind of had now famously said fuck ICE and
Hmm.
free Palestine. So a lot of fans of her were really happy with that sentiment. And so goes along with people who are using their platform to voice for things that they feel are noteworthy or are injustices that are occurring that they'd like to see change. So good for her for using it. I'm in that camp of like, if you've got a platform, it's your platform, you won. If you want to thank Jesus or if you want to say fuck ICE, do what you want. It's your 30
Yeah.
seconds. That's on you.
Or whatever light time it is. And I think they did some like stunt where like if you go over a certain amount of time, they deduct money from some charity donation they were
Boys and
doing.
Girls Club, yeah.
Yeah, some silliness like that. I don't know. I think Seth Rogen made fun of it in his speech. I didn't get to see the whole speech, so
Yeah.
but I don't know. But yeah, you're right.
It was sort of it was I don't know if it was meant to be funny, but like seeing it like just go down, it was like it was sad because it's like if it really is money being taken away from Boys and Girls Club, like they really need the money. They had two kids there that like benefit from the actual program. And then like obviously like you're like, okay, they're still gonna give them the money. There's no way they're
Yeah.
not gonna give them the
Right,
money.
right.
So it was like, so then is it just for nothing then? Because you know they're going to give them the money. So it's like, why go through the whole,
Right. It was
you
just
know,
some weird joke that didn't, I don't think, panned out as they thought it would.
yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, it was entertaining. Like I was glad that a lot of those people won. Big fans for the most part. I don't think that there was anyone that I was like unhappy to see win. There was sort of like historic win for the little boy in adolescence. He won, and
Yeah,
he's the
the youngest
youngest
one.
Emmy winner in history, which was kind of cool. Adolescence was a really cool series on Netflix. I don't know if you saw it, but
No, I didn't see that.
it was pretty good. It's really deep. It's not a light watch, but it was entertaining to watch and thought provoking.
Interesting. Okay, I'm like, I don't want to relive my adolescence, so I'm not gonna
Oh,
watch.
I don't think you were accused of killing anyone, so it's
Oh,
not.
that's true. That may well. We're not diving
Hopefully,
deep
it's
into
not
my
reliving
past,
your past.
so maybe I was. No.
Yeah,
It's weird to have award seasons be in September
yeah.
because aren't they traditionally or typically pre-pandemic, I guess, all the award seasons seem to happen like in February, if I remember
I don't
correctly.
don't really keep track. I just know that they all like kind of come all at once.
Yeah, so it's weird to see them in September. I don't know. But I only say that because the VMAs also took place.
Yeah,
And I started watching it and I started taking notes. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. But then after a while, I was like, you know what? This is kind of boring to me. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I mean, there were some exciting moments on the VMAs,
yeah,
but I didn't get to watch it all just because I stopped paying attention when I didn't realize who any of those artists were that were up there.
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but it was fun. Did you get to watch the VMAs at all?
I didn't watch. I watched clips of
Okay.
the so the people that I wanted to make sure to go see obviously was Lady Gaga. She
Hmm.
performed at Can Dance. I
Hmm.
think from her like concert, it was like a clip of like her concert, or they did like a live, or I don't know what they did. But it was a
Right, like simulcast or something. Yeah.
yeah. And then outside of that, I saw Mariah Carey, which was super underwhelming. Like she gave like 0% effort. Like no one expects her to go out and like shuffle about and like dance and do all of that. She's not J Lo, or like Madonna or Lady Gaga, but put some effort into it. Like she literally was like barely moving. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I understand. And isn't that like a running joke about her that she never did any of that throughout her whole career, right?
Yeah, yes. And like that's the like her fans are like, well, she never dances, that's on her thing. She has she's focusing on the vocal, but I think she lip synced. So if you're not singing live, then you can shimmy.
You can do the dance if you're not singing live. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Lady Gaga does both.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
The other people that kind of showed that you can dance and sing was Cat's Eye. They had a pretty
Hmm.
cool performance. They did
Hmm.
their song Gnarly, and which is like super heavily choreographed. I thought they were kind of cool. That's like the youngest group that I think that I know about. Everyone else I was like sort of over my head. Um, I know Sabrina Carpenter. I saw some clips of her, and she had some like drag queens, trans performers, sort of a statement about like protecting trans
You
people.
know,
Um,
let me look at my notes because I think I did mention that Sabrina Carpenter in my notes. Um, yeah, her performance was kind of cool. The rain machine that she had there, I think that
yeah,
was really cool. I appreciate different environmental effects, fire, rain, type of
yeah,
things like that.
yeah. Anything that can electrocute the performer or set them on fire, dangerous. All aboard.
Yes, I just want to see some sort of mishap, I guess.
Yeah.
Although one performer I think who kicked off the show that surprised me, and it was Doja Cat with Kenny G.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was kind of interesting. I know I've heard the name Doja Cat, but I hadn't really seen her perform.
Yeah.
And she did a lot of like um almost like Michael Jackson-esque moves, right? And it was quite good. She has great body control, and that's what I kept thinking. I was like, wow, she's really able to control her body like MJ did all for all those years.
Nice. I didn't see clips of her performance, but yeah, she is cool. I agree with that. Um, one of the things with the VMAs and with the Emmys is that they have some showstoppers when it comes to the fashion. Was there anyone that kind of stood out from the award season as far
Yes,
as fashion that you
absolutely.
recall?
And I think you know who I'm probably going to talk about there. She was channeling Death Becomes Her at the Emmys. Jenna Ortega was just fabulous.
Yeah, it's very funny because right now I feel like she's a polarizing figure. Whenever someone gets a certain level of success and they're like sort of like the it girl, you
Hmm.
have like the haters come
Yeah.
out. And
Hmm.
I saw the haters come out with her with like, oh, like she is not, she's not dressed. She's indecent. It was sort of like the MAGA crowd, I think, because they were comparing her to what's her name, Sydney Sweeney.
Hmm.
Uh, and saying that she was dressed appropriately, even though her tits were like up to her chin. So I was like, okay, it's crazy. But I have to agree that Jenna Ortega looked amazing.
Yeah,
She
she did.
she's the coolest girl right now out there. I think her like super goth fashion look is just hitting the right note.
Absolutely. And I've been watching Wednesday, the second half of season two, I guess. Haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
Have you watched it all?
I watched it all.
Okay.
It ends well. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a good season.
Yeah, each and what I was really focusing on for each of the episodes is that each episode felt like a movie.
Yeah,
It really, you know how like TV shows, stuff like that, they kind of like, you get not really enthralled in it, you're just there. But this has really captured me and sucked me into their Addams Family world, and I can't wait to finish watching it.
yeah, yeah. It's cool. Other person that for me really stood out when it came to fashion was Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco.
Mm.
I think they looked really cool as a couple. Selena looked amazing in like this sort of red long gown. She looked really cool. Pedro Pascal looked pretty cool. Who else? I posted some pictures. Parker Posey looked kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
She was there at the Emmys as well. I'm a big fan of her, and I believe that was it. Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else that I really
Well, you
was
mentioned something about
excited.
Sydney Sweeney, so
What's that?
I said you mentioned Sydney Sweeney. Maybe that's the other one you're forgetting.
Yeah, I mean her biggest accessory is her boobs, so good for her. Um, that's like the most interesting thing about her, I think. I'm not a big fan of her acting. I just saw a preview of a new movie that she is coming out with Amanda Seyfried. I always can't say her name.
Seyfried, yeah.
Seyfried, yeah. We're like they look identical. It's crazy. I'm like, are they two different people? Because they look exactly the same. But it doesn't look that great. Like I'm not a fan of her. And that's aside from like the controversy of her like Gene ad or
Hmm.
whatever. Putting that aside, like I'm a fan of Euphoria, the TV show. I don't like her character on Euphoria. I don't think she's all that great on it. I think that the other actors on that sort of outshine her. But to each their own, whatever. I know
I guess.
she's got her fans.
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
making her money.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see what else happened this week in pop culture that maybe we.
Well, today, new comic book release day. I think people are celebrating Batman Day. I think it's like
Hmm,
officially Batman Day.
okay.
I went to go get the crossover from Marvel and DC, which is Deadpool and Batman, which is
Oh,
kind of
fun.
an interesting combination. I wouldn't necessarily think of them like as the first combination that I would want in a Marvel DC crossover. But I had to get it. So I haven't read it yet, but the book itself also has Captain America teaming up with Wonder Woman, Crypto with Jeff the Land Shark, and who else? Green Arrow and someone else that I can't remember. But there's a couple different combinations of heroes that are in the magazine or the comic book. So
I just
pretty
want
cool.
Green Arrow and Hawkeye to do like a archery competition.
Yeah, where they shoot at the same time and the
Yeah.
arrows hit and it explodes and they both die.
When they do these crossovers like this between major studios, is it just a money grab, do you think, or are the stories that compelling?
I'll tell you next week if the story is compelling or not.
Okay.
I think that it's just like a fanboy fantasy. It's like people want to see like what would happen if Storm fought Wonder Woman,
Okay.
or what would happen if Superman fought, Wolverine. Or I think it's just the kind of a cool thing where you're like, as a kid, you always wonder like what would happen if these two
Yeah.
superheroes met.
Yeah, I got
And
you. Okay.
so it's sort of like I think it's built upon that sort of fantasy. Certainly, it's a moneymaker. I'm sure people are going to rush out to get this book. But I think it's fun to see them sort of. One of my favorite comics from when I was younger was Teen Titans and the X-Men. And that
Ooh,
those are two
fun.
groups that I was really into.
Yeah.
And it was a cool combination and mix of the two teams.
If you had to pick two superheroes for your own crossover, no matter what studio, who would you want?
That'd be hard. I don't know. It'd be an X-Men, one of the X-Men, I'm sure. And who would it be? I don't know. Maybe. Hmm. I don't know. That'd be really hard. That's a really hard question. Maybe like Doom Patrol and the X-Men would be cool because they're like so similar. It'd be kind
Yeah.
of funny
Yeah.
to see them kind of to have a crossover event.
But
What about,
that's two teams, so you have a wide variety of people there. Just two.
yeah,
Two.
just two people. I don't
Two
know.
characters.
Maybe Thor and Wonder Woman.
That'd be interesting. Both sort of like godlike figures. Okay.
Yeah, right. Both of them.
I was thinking Thor as well for my character,
Yeah.
but it was gonna be Thor and Invincible.
Okay.
So I'd be curious to see what would happen there. I don't know if they fight against each other or save team up to save the world, but I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Do you think Wonder Woman would be able to pick up Mjolnir?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would she
she's worthy.
would she be welcome in Valhalla?
I don't know about that, but she'd be worthy to pick it up, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I mean, there's a lot that you could really go into. In other news though, I heard that they're going to be making another Batman sequel.
Okay. With
Yeah, so that
Pattinson or with someone
yeah,
else?
with Pattinson, I think.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I really enjoyed that iteration of Batman. Um, and so I'm, all on board for that.
Yeah, I like the director's take on that. I mean, when they first cast Pattinson, I was like, he's just going to be weird, just very brooding, and he was, but it worked. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I saw something about Clayface somewhere.
Oh, really? That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
James Gunn posted something about Clayface. So I don't know. I don't know who that is. So
Yeah, James Gunn was also mentioned in the media recently by saying that his casting for Supergirl is one of the best casting that he's done
yeah, I
thus
heard
far.
about that.
That she was like so perfect for the role. So I'm
Hmm.
really excited to see what they do with
Like
Supergirl.
Girl of Tomorrow, I think it's called or something like that. Yeah. Oh, we didn't speak about Peacemaker. Did you watch the latest episode of Peacemaker?
I saw the latest, but we're doing the week before. So like that's like 2 weeks ago. So do you think that as a Gen Xer, I remember 2 weeks ago?
I don't remember which one we were on either. I just watched the one last night. The one where he moves the door. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
but I
That's
think the
not the
week
one that we're
before,
on our podcast, but that's the most recent one.
right?
So yeah, the most recent episode was really good.
Yeah,
Um, we can talk about that briefly, but um,
very briefly. We're
yeah,
running out of time.
yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, does he gets betrayed by one of his friends, right? One of his allies.
Well,
Uh,
yes and no. I mean, okay, if we're gonna talk about the most recent episode, let's just go there. We'll skip the one with him going into what I think people are calling Earth X or something
yeah.
like that. Where we'll talk about this one. Where are you talking about Hardcore portraying him, or are we talking about Economos?
No, Economos didn't betray him. I
Okay.
don't think.
Well, yeah, he got. I hadn't been a huge fan of Economos until this most recent episode where he kind of like gives them a heads up, hey, get out of there,
Yeah,
type of thing. And I thought that was so cool. He really showed his I don't want to say loyalty, but I guess loyalty to Peacemaker and the 11th Street Kids.
yeah.
Whereas
And he
opposed,
saves eagerly.
and he saves Eagly. Yeah, it was really cool. So I became a bigger fan of Economos in this past episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, I mean, it was it's continuing to be a really good series. I'm a
It
big
is.
fan of it.
Hmm.
It's sort of unwinding and becoming very interesting. I love the plot points, the characters, the action, all very cool and interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. Um, Out of all like James Gunn stuff, I think Peacemaker's probably my favorite.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I could see that.
yeah. I just think it's very maybe because it's grounded, right, in a way, and I think the way they're handling the multiverse aspect of it is perfect.
Yeah, it definitely, I have like multiverse fatigue. I'm like kind of over multiverses,
Hmm.
but they're doing it in a way that like I'm not turned off by.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're investigating that, because I definitely am like kind of over the whole multiverses, um, kind of over it. But
Just wait till the next round of Avenger movies come out. You're gonna be like, no.
I know the rumors with the Avenger movie, like I swear they claim everyone's going to be in that film.
Yeah, it's like
Every time I
every
go onto
single actor.
Facebook, it's like a new actor is going to be in it. Like, oh, Halle Berry's coming back as Storm. Like, I really doubt it, but they're just saying everyone's going to come back, which I doubt.
Well, maybe. I mean, I didn't expect Jennifer Garner to come back as Elektra,
Yeah, that was pretty left field.
so who knows? We'll see. Everyone out there, let us know what you think is going to happen in the Avengers films. Give us your wildest theories. Let us know your takes on Project Runway, Peacemaker, the Emmys, the VMAs, Wednesday, anything else? Um, DC Marvel crossover comics. Let us know what you're thinking in the comment field. And Gabe, I guess we'll talk next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right, bye everybody.